You saw the title, it doesn't need any more explanation. But if you want it, watch part 1. This time I have 3, well actually 2, new games to try that you've probably already heard of. I tried to focus on ones that were not only easy, but also polished and well regarded. Let's go. Okay, so I was planning on playing this game the last video, but I ended up taking around an hour just to beat the first night. For context, every other game I've played so far only took about an hour to either reach the 5th night or just beat the game in general. This game is not easy at all, and looking back through everywhere I originally looked up for the easy games, Graveyard Shift at Freddy's is nowhere to be found. I vaguely remember seeing it somewhere, but what most likely happened is I was looking through the other games and Graveyard Shift came up as recommended and piqued my interest, and I forgot that it wasn't meant to be for the video when I actually went to install the games. Also, quick sidebar, to avoid any confusion, I am still going by the rule of playing the oldest full version of each game, with the hope that those are the easiest versions, which doesn't matter too much for the ones I'm playing today since, from what I can tell, if there are any newer versions of the games, they haven't been released yet. So anyways, this game is not technically difficult. It just doesn't give you a lot of information. I had to look up a guide just to beat Night 1, which only had Bonnie active. So in this night, Bonnie progressively makes his way to you, as he does. When he gets close to your office, he can decide to go either to your back door or to your front door. If he goes to your back door, you have to play an alarm to distract him and he'll move to your front door instead. The same thing happens in this camera, except he's closer. And if you read, the game tells you when to alarm, which I definitely did from the beginning. When he reaches your front door, just close it. The reason why we don't want Bonnie to go around back is because your character can't turn his fat ass around to look at the back door, so you're dead if Bonnie goes around. Now, that's not very difficult at all. What makes this game hard is the fact that you can't change the cameras yourself. They cycle through each camera automatically. While you can speed up the cycle, and when you're off camera, the progress bar comes back a little bit, that means that if you switch to the next camera on accident, you'll have to go through the full camera rotation before you're able to hit the alarm on Bonnie, which often ends with you dying before that happens. Another part of the game is your connection. The faster you cycle through your cameras or use the alarms, the worse your connection gets. But all you have to do is click on the Wi-Fi router to reset it. And that's literally all I know about this game. It is pretty difficult to manage everything. I was struggling with just 2 animatronics on night 2. I can't even imagine what it's like to play anything harder. I spent most of my playthrough just trying to figure out what to do. I kept hitting the alarm on Bonnie whenever I saw him, which doesn't actually do anything. It just makes it so that later, he ignores the alarm. Despite the appearance, this software is not malicious whatsoever. Thank you. Sounds like something Mallory would say. Endure. Make your selections. Honor and praise. Goodbye.
Good evening. Wanted to give you a call to help you get settled.
Did I just turn off my Wi-Fi? Man, the quality.
Oh my god.
I'm so confused. Man, this is the first night I've already lost twice. These games are easy, they said?
Whoa, close, close, close. Oh my god.
Hi. You look so offended when you flash them. Or when you alarm them. He's ignoring my alarm.
Oh!
That scared the crap out of me. I was the one that played that and it scared the crap out of me. Yeah, wrong one. Go to the other one. Oh, 6 a.m.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What? What was that? Whoa, 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 whoa.
Ah, I see. Honestly, this game is fascinating to me. I really enjoy the idea of this game and its mechanics, and I would love to make a full video just about Graveyard Shift at Freddy's. So if you want to see that, let me know. But let's move on to the actual easy games. Unfortunately, I made a mistake and accidentally overwrote the video files of me actually playing the games for both Tealerland and Pop Goes, and I am not re-recording it, so you'll just have to settle for little gameplay clips and no funny moments. I'll be using these 2 videos for important clips that I need and screenshots, but it'll be minimal. Hopefully that's okay. Now, this game might come as a surprise. Like, What do you mean Tearland is an easy game? The reason I chose this one is because even though it isn't easy, especially when compared to the last video, it will walk you through most of the mechanics and give you a lot of leeway in terms of you failing. What I mean is that while the game itself isn't easy, you are guided through it. So how do you play? This game is divided into hours instead of nights, with the last hour having a completely new mechanics. So technically everything takes place in just 6 hours. That's insane. You have 3 rooms you can explore: the control room, hallway, and the supplies room. While inside the rooms, you can peek through the keyholes to look into the hallway. Each hour, you need to assemble an animatronic called the Tealer by grabbing some parts and putting it back together, because I guess it keeps falling apart when the clock chimes. And then use the Tealer to put the animatronics roaming the building back in their cages. The hour doesn't end until you enclose all of the red highlighted animatronics in their rooms. If the lure stands still for too long while near the animatronics, it will become infected, and you have to put up a firewall on the corrupted file before the lure turns on you instead. You can fix the corrupted file from the supplies room by just clicking on the file that begins with Zanny. There is also fuel. You have to control the lure to find gas canisters and bring them to the generator, otherwise the power goes out. Luckily, if it does go out, you can still do everything except lure the other animatronics until you refill the generator. There are 8 animatronics: Tealer, Willow, Frill, Tacy, Mischievous, the Doll, Deterrent, and Brother. The Brother and Deterrent don't show up until the finale, which has completely different gameplay, so I won't talk about them just yet. Anyways, first up we have Tealer. He will make his way down your hall to your door. When he arrives, you cannot enter the hallway or look through the keyhole of the door, or else he attacks you. You know he's in the hallway by this sound. And if you look at him through the keyhole, he will growl at you. Tealer also takes the longest of all the animatronics to hit with the lure. Then we have Willow, who by far creates the most problems. She is known as an ambient animatronic, which just means that she can't be lured. Willow will enter your hallway and make this noise to let you know she's there. The game will also give you a handy and definitely not stressful alarm icon to let you know she's outside. All you need to do is enter the hall and look at her until she leaves. If you don't, or you leave the hallway before she does, she'll jump scare you. She's a simple animatronic, but the problem is that when she arrives, you have to leave the computer to deal with her pretty quickly, and she takes a while to leave. So, if you need to put the lure's firewalls up soon, Willow gets in the way of that. Her other issue comes when she mixes with the next 2 animatronics, Frill and Tacy. Frill will head to your door and start banging on it until you look at him through the keyhole. If you enter the hallway while he's at the door, or leave the hallway when he enters it before he leaves, he'll attack you. Tacy works in the exact same way, except she is much quieter. She will not bang on your door and will instead just silently wait outside of it for you. The only way to know she's there is by this noise. Again, not that difficult to deal with. The problem is though, is that Tacy shares almost the exact same noise as Tealer does when he enters the hall. So you end up assuming it's Tealer entering the hall until suddenly Willow shows up, and now you have to deal with both of the animatronics because you didn't clear Tacy earlier. And you can't constantly leave the computer to check the door every time because you're almost guaranteed to get infected when you leave. The last 2 animatronics are Mischievous and the Doll. Mischievous is another ambient threat who will enter your hall and loudly announce his presence with this. And then he'll start playing music. While he is in the hall, you cannot enter it or he'll attack you, similar to Tealer. The only difference is that he won't go to your door, so you can't see him through the keyholes. Once Mischievous leaves, he'll leave the doll in either the control room or the supplies room. The doll will slowly tick down on a timer to attack you. You have to find it and click on it to prevent this. And that's all the animatronics we have to deal with in the main part of the game. Technically, there are 2 other animatronics in the area that can only be activated in the custom night, but I didn't play the custom night, so I'm not going to talk about them. Something I didn't mention yet is that when you get jumpscared by an animatronic, you are not immediately dead. Instead, you will just lose a ton of your health. You can recover it once per night with the medkit in the supplies room, so that means that you can survive up to 2 attacks on average before the 3rd one kills you. There's also perks you can unlock by completing each night and their respective hardcore modes, which helps a lot. Hardcore will make the animatronics more aggressive, decrease the firewall time for the lure from 20 to 15 seconds, and also puts a password on the computer whenever you open it, which becomes an issue when you are constantly going back and forth between the rooms and having to put in a new password every fucking time. Again, I wouldn't call this game easy in basic terms. It is incredibly stressful as noises are constantly happening and everything is time sensitive, especially when you leave the control room. You have to get the fuel as often as possible because it drains so fast, while also keeping track of Willow and the doll, while hoping the lure doesn't get infected while you're away. One big issue I have with this game is its addiction to black screens. Everything you do in the game creates a black screen that you have to wait to end before you're able to do anything or see. Like with the doll. You click on it and the screen blacks out for around 3 seconds, and often I was dealing with the doll and using the firewalls on the lure at the same time. But then you can't see the screen for way too long and you run out of time on the lure. Additionally, when you assemble the lure, your screen blacks out for a solid 7 or 8 seconds before you can even move again, giving the other animatronics like Tealer and Mischievous ample time to trap you in the supply room for a while the generator runs out and the lure gets infected. Now, let's talk about the final hour. This time, you're in a cave with a computer and a flashlight. There are 2 animatronics in this one, Deterrent and Brother. Brother will occasionally show up in your face, and you just have to turn around and look away for a bit. If you don't, he'll jump scare you and either concuss you for a bit, or just straight up kill you. Deterrent is the main villain of this night. You have to track it on the computer and open the doors in the building to lure it inside and trap it for a bit. That'll slow down its progression and give you time to charge the generators in the rooms. You have to charge the generators to 100% while the deterrent is in the room, that way it'll blow up and damage the deterrent. You have to do it with all 4 generators in order to beat the night. The deterrent will often make it to where you are, sneaking up behind you with these noises. All you have to do is flash it and it'll go away. The problem is you don't have a lot of battery on the flashlight, so you have to slow down the deterrent as much as possible and blow up the generators quickly while limiting flashlight usage. So again, why do I add this to the easy list, aside from other people saying that it is? I feel like this game is a good example of making a challenging game easier with how the mechanics work and careful design. You are given a breakdown of every animatronic before you deal with them in the next hour. On top of that, when you lure an animatronic into a cell, that one is no longer active for the rest of the hour, just for it to escape the next hour anyways. So, as you progress, the difficulty gets easier. The animatronics also give you a lot of leeway before attacking for the most part. Willow will wait in the hallway for a while. I don't think there was a single time that she timed out while I was playing. I only ever got attacked by her because I kept leaving the hallway too early. The same goes for the doll. I didn't get jump scared by the doll a single time, and I honestly forgot that I even needed to track it down multiple times until I had to deal with other things like the lure getting infected. Pair that with having a health bar instead of instant death, giving you a barrier to fail and still complete the night. The difficulty of this game is a lot more RNG based. You can get stuck in the hallway clearing Willow, Frill, and Tacy as they enter one after another, or get stuck in the supply room waiting for Tealer and Mischievous to leave, which takes forever. I'm sure there's a way around all of that and a strategy to minimize that issue, but I was still able to beat the entire game except for Hour 5's hardcore mode my first way through it. Luckily, this game is much simpler. You have your standard cameras that you have to use for every animatronic. Speaking of, they're right behind you. That's right, you don't have an office. They just wander around behind you while you work. What the fuck? You have a panic meter that will rise while you look at the cameras, or if one of the animatronics gets you. You can lower your panic by staring out the window to your right into the parking lot, because that makes me feel better, looking directly at one of the animatronics trying to kill me instead of using the computer that is keeping me alive. There are technically 5 animatronics in this game, but 2 of them move the exact same way, so it's technically only 4 that you're dealing with. First up is Pop Goes himself. He'll hang around camera 4 and then choose one of the adjacent rooms to enter. You can tell which one based on where he's standing. Once he enters the room, he'll use the 3D printer inside of it to make a part of the Black Rabbit. Once he makes all of the 6 parts, you're dead. To stop Pop Goes, you have to reset the power in the room he's entering to force him back into camera 4 and disabling that printer for a bit. Next are Sarah and Saffron. They'll enter the vents through camera 8 and make their way around the building until they reach you, where they'll take your phone from you so you can't do anything about Pop Goes, and your panic will go up incredibly fast. You need to turn on the heating coils at the vent they're in to keep them in place. But the heating will only be active for a few seconds, so you have to keep turning it on because they won't go backwards, so you can only delay them. But the good thing is, both animatronics will always be in the same camera. Then there's Stone. He'll appear on some of the cameras, blocking your view on Pop Goes and increasing your panic. All you have to do is change the cameras to get rid of him, and also make sure you lower your panic, as a higher level will increase his chances of appearing. Rarely, he'll turn his head to look at you through the window outside, skyrocketing your panic. Finally, Blake. He'll enter the server room on cam 10 and slowly shut your computer down with this bar here. What you have to do is click the color button on the bottom that corresponds to the color on the screen in cam 10, and then call Blake with this button on the left. This game has a weird feeling to it, and I think I know why. You aren't stopping or countering hardly any animatronic, you can only slow them down until the clock runs out. Which is a cool way to play the game, but it makes you feel like you are always falling behind and waiting, especially because you are just opening the same few cameras and hitting the vent heat or reset and waiting until the next time you have to do it again. I think I just forgot how the gameplay loop used to be for FNaF games. What makes this game difficult is that you aren't helped at all by the phone guy. He doesn't tell you how to prevent any animatronic at all. His advice only tells you that you can do certain things. Like, he says that you can turn on the vent heat if you get cold, and that you can call Blake with the yellow button, but not that it needs to correspond to the color. It's intentionally in character that the phone guy has no idea what's going on, which is cool, but you're just left guessing on how to deal with the animatronics and relying on the sticky notes on the computer to tell you what to do. But the game isn't bad at all. And that is all the games I have time for today. Honestly, this series could go on forever, but this will probably be the last one I make. If I'm gonna make more videos about FNaF fan games, I want to make their themes a little more interesting than just being easy. I know that the games in this video do not even come close to the previous 3 games on how easy they are, and I think it's a good difference between a fan game that's objectively easy in mechanics and a game that just has straightforward mechanics and doesn't overcomplicate the player. In the same way that FNaF 1 isn't necessarily hard once you know what to do, these fan games have a generous difficulty curve. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it, and if you want to see more, I have other videos, and I'd really appreciate the support as I try and figure out what type of content I should be making. Have a great day, or good night.